Several years ago, I had an experience that taught me a lot about community. And one of the key things it taught me was how to lose your community really, really fast. Okay, so I'll tell you about it. So I was a member of the National Speakers Association. It's called NSA, and it was in many ways a very good organization. They had a couple of things that I just did not agree with, and they may have changed these things now. But let me just share this experience with you. So I went to my first conference. Walked in, big ballroom, things, music's rocking, people are sitting down and everything like that. And up in front, they had a rope that went across, and then there were these round tables with tablecloths and chairs around them, probably, maybe 100 seats up there that were clearly reserved. And there were security people standing around that rope so that the normal unwashed humans could not get across that rope to what was happening inside of that rope. And it was totally empty. So here's everybody else. We're all, getting to know each other, rocking with the music and everything for the 10, 20 minutes before the conference starts. And then about 30 seconds before the conference starts, all of a sudden a door opens and all these people stream in and start sitting in those seats. And as I look up, I realize that all of my speaking heroes are sitting on the other side of that rope. So there's Zig Ziglar and Og Mandino and all those people with 2- and 3-letter word names that are all professional speakers. And I'm looking up there and I'm realizing what is happening is all of us back here want to be up there with them so that we can meet and get to know the people that we want to be just like. But we can't get there because they're protected by a rope and by guards. Now, I came to later on to learn that a big piece of the National Speakers Association was it was actually established by these speakers, these top speakers, as a way to be able to get together with their friends a couple of times a year. And what they really didn't like was all of the normal wannabes spending their time talking to them so that it took away from their time to be able to talk to their friends. And I realized we had the ultimate example of exclusivity and in some ways prejudice happening here. And I don't particularly want to get into this, but as I think about it today, it's like I experienced what a lot of people experience every single day. I felt it was wrong then. For me, I feel it's wrong now for all of them. Okay. All right. Now, let me just step back here and get off my soapbox about the prejudice issue and talk more about something that's really, really important if you want to create a community. So when you create a community, whether it's an online Facebook group or it's a group of owners or buyers of your product or whatever, and here's what happens. There's a lot of people who come into that organization who are maybe new, they haven't figured out how to do things, and one of the things that they want most is to be able to rub shoulders and get contact with people who are succeeding in that thing that they want to succeed in. But if you build a community like NSA did that actually causes impediment for the want-to-bes to be able to talk with the people who are successful, you actually do both of them a disservice. And I guarantee you, you will lose many of the wannabes because they're not getting out of the organization what they came in to get. So, how do you do that? Well, the first thing is that you need to set an example of how to do this. So one of the keys that happens when you are the personality and you hold a live event and people come because they want to sit at your feet and learn from you there, is you can't isolate yourself from them. Now, I recognize totally that if 10 people each stop you for 2 minutes and want to talk to you and hug you and tell you how great you are and those kinds of things, it can make it really hard for you to get anything done. And so oftentimes what ends up happening is the principal at a big conference has like almost a bodyguard that walks around to keep people away from them. And I understand that. As long as you do have something somewhere during that event where they have the chance to be able to come into contact with you. If you exclude yourself, that tells them that you're willing to allow them to exclude themselves also. In addition, one of the things you need to do is to actually create a culture that says we all help each other, including the pros helping the amateurs. Sometimes that's hard to do. Sometimes some of those pros don't want to go there. Hey, I paid you money to be able to learn from you. I didn't pay you money to be forced to interact with those other people. You've got to figure out how to pull that off. I can't give you an obvious solution to that. But there are a number of things you can do with your coaches, with your staff, those kinds of things, consistently creating environments where everyone is together and where the pros are able to easily and painlessly help the amateurs. I'd love to know what you have seen working, whether it's in your own community or whether it's in communities that you've been part of and seen it work. If you could just share that with me in the comments, that would help me sometimes when I do these lives, I do them because this is what I'm thinking about. This is what I'm trying to solve in my own mind. And I may have a little bit of the solution, but it's very clear that Don does not know everything. Just ask my kids. And so I am totally begging, wanting you to share what you've discovered with me. That'll help me as I try to resolve these problems and these situations in my own life and my own business so that I can become better and hopefully help you to become better too. So share what you found that works. Put it in the chat. And I'd love to help you with more of these kinds of things in the future. So this is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.